They start as a rumor, a comment thread, a social post, a video with shaky footage, and a dozen panicked replies. Then they come faster. A neighborhood in Canada, a city street in Ukraine, a quiet coastal town. People step outside, tilt their heads and feel it in their chests. A long, thundering note like a trumpet from the sky. It isn't thunder. There are no storm clouds. It isn't an airplane. The sound seems to come from nowhere and everywhere at once. People have been calling them sky trumpets, skyquakes, mystery booms. And since about 2008, the reports have multiplied. Videos, dozens of witness accounts, and an internet that amplifies the fear and fascination. But 90% of the time, after the noise fades, the only thing that remains is the question. What in the world was that? You'll hear it described in many ways. A long metallic horn, a series of distant cannon blasts, a pulsing vibration that rattles windows and sets dogs barking. In some places, it's a single boom. In others, a chorus of low trumpet notes that seem to roll across the horizon. People have recorded it on phones, uploaded it to social media, and given it names. The sky trumpet phenomenon. These reports have appeared from Canada to Ukraine, Australia to South America. Scattered, global, and stubbornly unexplained. Let's rewind. The strange sound reports aren't entirely new. Accounts of mystery booms date back centuries under names like Barricel guns, Seneca guns, and mispuffers. But the modern wave, the videos and viral attention, really ramps up in the late 2000s and early 2000s, when smartphone cameras made it possible for ordinary people to capture the moment and for those clips to spread around the globe in an instant. That's when the phrase sky trumpet started to stick. So what do the experts say? Here's where it gets scientific and still unsettled. One broad category of explanations points to ordinary physical events that produce extraordinary sounds. Meteors breaking up in the upper atmosphere, sonic booms from aircraft, or underwater explosions that couple into the air as booming noise. Researchers have also looked at seismic causes. Shallow earthquakes and ground disturbances can generate sound waves that people mistake for something coming from the sky. In many historic cases, near lakes or shorelines, scientists have suggested underwater releases of trapped gas or collapsing underwater caves as plausible causes. Another cluster of ideas takes us into atmospheric physics. Infrasound, very low-frequency sound that travels long distances, acoustic ducting that channels distant thunder or explosions across regions, and even plasma or ionospheric events triggered by solar activity. These mechanisms can transform ordinary physical processes into strange, trumpet-like tones that seem to have no source. But, and this is the important part, none of these explanations consistently fits every recorded event. The same sky trumpet clip might plausibly be a meteor in one place and an atmospheric ducting event in another. Then there are the fringe ideas, the theories that make for late-night forums and grainy documentaries. Some hear prophecy, trumpet calls from the heavens, signs of the end times. Others point at secret military tests, clandestine sonic weapons, or large-scale industrial accidents hush-hush enough to leave no official trace. While they make good headlines and clickbait, these explanations rarely hold up when researchers check logs, radar tracks, or military exercise schedules. Still, they persist, because when the sky sounds like a horn, people want answers. And sometimes the wildest answers are the most comforting. Listen, a woman in a small Canadian town describes stepping out into her backyard at midnight. The dog whines, the porch light flickers, then a long metallic moan that changes pitch, then cuts off as suddenly as it began. Her phone video is shaky. The waveform looks like a low-frequency blast. Air traffic controllers check their logs. Nothing. Seismic monitors show no quake. The clip goes viral because it's tangible proof of something ephemeral. But proof of what? Nothing in the official record matches. And that's exactly what fuels the mystery. Scientists who study sound say we often underestimate how weird sound behaves, how low-frequency waves can sneak along atmospheric layers, how distant thunder can be ducted by temperature inversions and arrive sounding like it comes from overhead, how infrasound from a meteor can be translated into audible pops and moans at ground level. The field of infrasonics is well established. Governments use it to detect nuclear tests and meteors. It's plausible many sky trumpet events are simply the audible edge of the natural world doing something unusual. But plausible is not proven. And since the recordings vary so much, most scientists suspect more than one cause is at play. Let's talk about the recordings, because sound is the only hard evidence we have. Some clips show a single, sharp boom that matches known acoustic signatures of airbursts, meteors exploding in the atmosphere. Others are slow, harmonic tones, a soundscape that feels engineered rather than accidental. Audio analysts look at waveforms, spectral content, and how the sound changes across a recording to infer distance and possible source. But these analyses often raise as many questions as they answer. A waveform that looks like a sonic boom could still be generated by a distant explosion ducted through the atmosphere. A long harmonic tone might be an electromagnetic interference translated into audio by a phone. There are so many variables: ground reflections, microphone quality, and the acoustics of the environment. And then there are the clusters, weeks or months when multiple reports appear in different countries. Scientists and investigative journalists catalog them, searching for patterns, seasonal links, geographic coincidences, correlations with solar events or military tests. Sometimes patterns emerge, sometimes they don't. A spike in reports might simply reflect a viral video inspiring people to listen more closely. Other times, clusters coincide with meteor showers or known atmospheric disturbances. It's a puzzle with moving pieces, and too often the pieces are either missing or contradictory. What does this mean for us? For most people who hear the sound, it's a moment, a jolt of the uncanny, and then life goes on. For scientists, these noises are a reminder that Earth and its atmosphere are complex systems capable of producing unexpected phenomena. For mystics and storytellers, they are signs, hooks for narratives about prophecy or doom. For internet sleuths, they're a thread to pull at until something snaps. For you as a listener, they're the perfect fuel for curiosity, a sound you can't fully explain, and the nagging desire to know why the sky would sing like that. There's one last thing. Official admissions are rare. When scientists do identify a cause, a meteor, a controlled detonation, a fault line rumble, the mystery for that event closes. But no single cause has ever covered all sky trumpet reports. The most honest answer right now is this: sometimes it's meteors, sometimes it's ducted thunder, sometimes it's gas releases or underwater events, and sometimes we simply don't have enough data to say. The sky trumpet phenomenon is probably not one thing at all, but many things that sound eerily similar. So next time you hear a strange low hum or a long, brass-like moan above you, step outside. Look up, listen, record it if you can. Scientists learn by collecting these fragments. A waveform here, a timestamp there, a radar return matched to a video. Each clip, each witness, each puzzled report is a piece of a global soundscape we are only beginning to map. The sky is not always quiet. Sometimes it speaks in ways we don't expect. The why is still out there, somewhere between atmosphere and earth, between physics and mythology. For now, the trumpets keep sounding, and the world keeps asking the same question it has asked for centuries. What was that?